Hi, Paul Donovan here. Welcome to the YouTube channel avtechnician.ca. Welcome. Now, I started this channel back in 2016 with a very popular video called What is an AV Technician? I have also created a new video for AV Technician for 2023. Please feel free to check the links below to find out more about what is an AV Technician. Today, I want to talk about a brand new buzzword in the world of AV Technician: hybrid event. If you want to continue to follow my channel, please click subscribe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like it. The comments are turned on, and please comment in below related to this video. I welcome your comments. In the post-COVID world, we have added a few vocabulary words to the world of AV technicians. Just like everything else, we created them. So I'm going to teach you a new word. It's called hybrid event. Now, we all know about hybrid cars. That's the cars that have a gas engine but run on battery or whatever, so one way or other. Well, here's a version of the thing that we were doing this before COVID, but we just didn't use the word hybrid. We now have this new word, hybrid events. Now, when our clients came back after COVID and started doing events again, some in-person events, they needed to bring in presenters who were coming in remotely, and they also had audience members who really didn't want to attend. And so what they did is they created this term called hybrid. Now, I don't quite get it, but a lot of the conveners, especially some of the ones who are doing 10, 15, 20 events a year, seem to have forgotten how to do an in-person event. And then they threw this word of hybrid into the whole mix, and a lot of our customers are shaking in their boots trying to think about, how am I going to do an event when my presenters are not here and my audience is not here? Or at least not everyone. Some are in person and some are not. So this is not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, I see the hybrid model growing in popularity for people who want to do events. But the more people do it, the more people are going to relax. I still can't believe the meetings I've had with some of our regular conveners for events where they're just like, I don't know how to do it. Okay. So now let's add a couple of things in here. Let's define things about hybrid. First off, we have the virtual audience. This is an audience we've always had whenever we've done a virtual event in the past. And it's just the people who don't want to come in person to the event and they want to still be able to join the event. These are virtual audience, or the virtual attendees. Wonderful. Those easy. But the new one that is becoming even more popular is when the presenter is not able to come in person. And now we have the virtual presenter. Great word. Of course, it makes sense. Virtual attendee or virtual audience. And now we have the virtual presenter. This is amazing because we've learned how to bring in the virtual presenter, and more these presenters have already been doing this with Zoom for years, the last few years. Now, another terminology I'll bring into the game is a meeting versus a webinar. We never really thought about this in the past. We always did events where everything was a webinar. Well, not a webinar. Everything was a meeting, an event where the speaker stood up on the stage, presented things, had a PowerPoint script thing on the screen, and we never thought much about it being whether it's a meeting or a webinar. Webinar is designed that you send out information and your audience listens. That's it. There is no or very little two-way interaction in a webinar. Whereas a meeting, by its mere name, implies a two-way communication, where not only are you speaking outward to your audience is speaking inwards to you. And it implies that two-way situation. Now, Zoom has clarified these. In fact, they've created them in separate channels within their application. If you're having a meeting, you can expect that you're going to see a whole bunch of little faces all over your screen. And people are going to turn on their camera or ignore the camera, they're going to turn on their microphone, and they're going to forget they're talking to their kids and all the other stuff. That's a meeting. And that's what would happen if you were sitting in a room around a boardroom table. That's a meeting. Whereas the webinar, you're not going to see all those little faces. You're just going to see the people who are speaking, presenting, whether they be local, in person, or virtually presenting. So that's the big difference that's also come in, is we've got meeting versus webinar. Now, we did a lot of these virtual events before the pandemic. And primarily, it was the audience that was watching. We didn't very often have presenters who speak remotely. I still remember one of our regular clients, an accounting organization, one of their presenters was stuck in the airport in Los Angeles and couldn't get to Vancouver in time to do his presentation. And they quickly contacted me and said, "What can we do?" I said, "Well, does he have a phone or a pad or even a computer? Because the internet at LAX would probably be really good." And they said, "Yeah." "Does his camera or his pad or his laptop have a camera on it?" "Yes." "Great. Here's the link. Send him this link, and he can then present." They were so amazed that I was able to bring that guy in LA, at the LA airport. He was able to make his presentation. But we've had our clients just really, they just panic when we bring up the word hybrid. One of the biggest clients I work with is a medical organization, and they are frantically trying to take away the hybrid aspect of their events. Before the pandemic, we very rarely for this client did hybrid events where people were watching remotely. Not unusual, but what we did is we actually video recorded the presentations, and then we made them available afterwards for people to be able to watch on demand. Now we're trying to do these hybrid events where even the presenter is not local. So this one client we have, absolutely petrified when we have to do a hybrid event. We've managed to calm them down, but it seems like every time we do them, we've got them calling us to say, "Can we have a special meeting so we can review this?" And we do. You know, things that just have to be done. And so we have a lot of hardware that has been developed during the pandemic. Some of this hardware was developed to be easy to use. Well, I prefer to use the word easier to use. And they're designed to make life simple for the tech or the lack of a tech doing events. And so we've got new hardware, and one of these videos I'm going to make down the road here is going to talk about some of the new hardware that's on the market that helps you do a virtual event easily. Not easy, easier, not easy. So one of the things we have to remember as a show technician, as an AV technician, as an AV company, is we still have a professional job to do. We still want to have this show go off without a hitch. So we have to do everything we can to learn the new technology that's coming to our way. We have to do our best to be sure nothing go wrong. But then again, that's what we always did. We always made sure the show happens. I guess the whole theme of this is not just teaching you about the new word hybrid, but it's also reminding you that the client can still do an event. They just have to remember and pull it all out of their brains from 2 years ago how to do it. So, if you like my channel, click on subscribe so that you can receive notice when new videos are popped up, and follow my channel. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And don't forget to leave comments below. I'm going to continue to make videos, and these videos will give you tips and tricks for AV technicians. Thanks for watching. I'm Paul Donovan.